and they can very easily erase someone from the map. So it's going to be a very cool situation if they can set up that perfect siege at some point. However, PorpoisePops might be making some friends.
Yeah, they could come around, but they're not going to check out that brush just yet. They wouldn't think that he'd be in there, so they will walk around. They're going to get spotted out going towards the blue. We might see a ward get dropped out there, as Daydreamin did start with, I think that's 3 green wards. We see NintendudeX dodge away from a spear without knowing it. PorpoisePops does just hit him with that excessive force, and they will just walk right on out there. And I'm interested to see what NintendudeX is going to do in this jungle, where he's going to go, what's going to prioritize. vVv, though, maybe looking for a little bit of a counter on this blue. They will back up as it's going to be Zombie Brand and Haunted Zara, the nice little Halloween skins for the bot lane.
They'll win the lane just completely out of spooking Coast. That is my prediction. Just mad scoops. Spooks. And scoops.
Mad scoops. Scoops of what, ice cream?
Oh. Scoops of fear and fire. And also some plants too. Now, we do see Godshu going back towards base. ZionSpartan was retreating for a second as well, but looks like we might have that 1v1 top lane as ZionSpartan just spamming the recall animation on his ribbon skin.
Looks pretty cool either way, the championship ribbon. We're going to have a red start here for PorpoisePops, as well as a blue star for NintendudeX, who looks like he doesn't need any help, so he's not even going to get a leash. They're just going to let him consume it, smite it, and be on his merry way. CheesedBeluga went for a very heavy sustain start in this mid lane and does get harassed out and will be forced to use some of that early on. He's just waiting to use a little bit more of his mana.
I mean, yeah, he's getting torn up quite a bit by Shiphtur. Shiphtur using that early LeBlanc damage. Something you've seen quite often is LeBlanc will start Distortion level 1 and just use that to dive into the enemy AP mid. And that is incredibly high base damage at level 1. It's a long cooldown, but still 130 damage from a spell at that point in the game is tremendous. Maybe like 120, but still.
The damage is going to be huge either way. We do see ZionSpartan and Snugglez just trading back and forth. He just pops Burnout and goes through everything ZionSpartan wants to throw at him. It's orange shield for him, red pot for Zion, so he's going to look for some kind of all-in, potentially earlier on, and try to pick up a kill if he can. Or maybe get some help from NintendudeX, who is doing his red, as well as now Descendant's whiffing down bot. Root does connect in response. Still Tails at level 2, so no stun for him. And now that they hit level 2, they can probably look to try to capitalize on something like that again. There was a ward over by the blue buff, and we did see Shiphtur harassing PorpoisePops just a little bit.
You can really see the power of the Tails Godshu combination. Actually, no, aggression on the Godshu.
Wow, Ignite gets dropped out there. Slow Plant just willing away onto Daydreamin. The Ignite was dropped in exchange for that root, but Godshu still holding onto all of his summoners. And we're seeing that power early on. The supports that don't have too much magic resist will get torn up by that lane.
That's unfortunate for Godshu. I mean, he is at 40 man mark. He has a decent amount, but he's just so squishy to WizFujiN, especially with the burst damage Sivir can provide with that auto attack reset. It's going to be a rough lane. You can see Coast, they want to kind of keep on the push because Sivir will have more AD and more pushing potential. Compare that to Brand, who will have to use mana to try and keep the wave pushed out. So as long as they're keeping the momentum in lane in terms of minions, they will have an advantage when they can pressure.
Yeah, we do have. Actually, I noticed that a Spell Thief's Blade was actually picked up for Godshu, so the spells that he hit got him the extra 4 golds, as well as the auto attack. And I wonder if he's going to actually build that into the final item and apply that slow on activation with the targeting.
That would actually be a really good pickup. Normally you see the coin would also be amazing for the move speed, but that would actually be a solid pickup just because if they do land in initiation, they have even more follow-up. Like, I think if they want to focus on the siege, you can get the coin for escape, the coin for the chase, or go for the final stealth. It actually might be an all-in up top, as actually ZionSpartan will back up.
It's just that same old noodle fight, just slapping each other back in the face, and sustaining back up like usual. All the potions are down for ZionSpartan, the orange shield still ticking away. Godshu looking for a root. WizFujiN does get a nice little shield to stop that from happening, and fairly early on, no aggression. The junglers are just kind of farming up, and if PorpoisePops can get level 6, we could potentially see a gank in any lane, while NintendudeX could just blood boil and use that absolute 0 at a counter gank if he wants. We do just have a little bit of a lull here, as it's going to be a bit of a farm fest for these first couple minutes.
You can see Tails and Godshu trying to position themselves for some aggression. It's just so hard to do it reliably. However, we might have a meeting of 2 junglers up in top lane, and NintendudeX coming through the river. PorpoisePops looking up through his lane as well.
Okay, so ZionSpartan gonna look to possibly pop his red pot and go all in here. Gets the stun off. NintendudeX coming back in, applies Blood Boil. There is a flash and a Vault Breaker, but that does not connect on a ZionSpartan, so he will be able to just walk right on out there. PorpoisePops just barely missing that one, but NintendudeX now getting traded on. Ignite gets dropped. ZionSpartan does pop the red pot, tries to go in, but gets ignited and responds and backs right on out. So Summoner's trading back and forth, as well as a lot of harass here. NintendudeX is going to try to hold this turret, I guess, against both of them. ZionSpartan's still at about 150 HP. A Vault Breaker and a few auto attacks could take him out, but it looks like vVv is going to take it safe, not go for a dive, and just back on out.
All right, really, really odd exchange, and we actually have two different trades going on, one financial, one in terms of summoners. vVv Blue both flash, ignite, and the flash of PorpoisePops try and survive that fight. Unfortunately, PorpoisePops not able to land what would have been a, I believe, 1200 or so range Vault Breaker, if not more. And then you compare that to ZionSpartan. ZionSpartan only blew his ignite. Smite, of course, NintendudeX was used as well just to try and keep the lane pushed out, but not a big deal. However, what's going to matter is that he used that red potion and he didn't get a kill. So now Zion, to maintain control of the lane, he's going to have to just keep applying pressure, keeping control, and make sure that he can try and at least get some of the difference back in that red potion that is essentially worth nothing at this point if he doesn't get a kill, or at least get a minion lead in terms of farm. Got to be a difficult lane for both sides, though.
Yeah, he does have that minion lead, so he built a pickaxe, but Chain Vest from Snugglez, so looking for the Sunfire Cape as his first pick, as it is standard for that to happen. Now, we haven't really talked about mid lane. Shiphtur is kind of dominating in the CS lead by about 21, and still sitting on the Doran's ring. He hasn't gone back just yet. Probably going to see the DFG rush for him, and then the attempt at the one-shotting these double AP carry bot.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to see Shiphtur go for the aggressive build rather than farm. This would be a very farm-oriented lane just because CheesedBeluga does have his heal, does have a lot of mobility as Nidalee, despite the root from Shiphtur being able to keep most champions in place. Nidalee can kind of get around that with her leap. Still, he's dealing so much pressure and early harass that CheesedBeluga has not been able to A, stop the push, and B, deal with that pressure and damage. NintendudeX is forced out of the jungle, but PorpoisePops wisely not going to be running towards that level 6 LeBlanc.
Yeah, it does not want to do that one. We do have ZionSpartan rotating towards mid, while WizFujiN and Daydreamin still keep the pressure underneath turret for Tails. There was a ping to show out CheesedBeluga in the mid lane, as it looked like a 3-man dive attempt, but now Daydreamin gets harassed out a little bit, drops the Ward Totem Ward, and they will back at us. Now buffs have reset, and 7 minutes in, no first blood, so very, very passive game.
It's very even right now, very equal. I would have loved to see ZionSpartan go for that dive. It made a lot of sense because he has a red push and tick, and it's like, all right, we have a super tanky Riven with mobility, with a shield. Why not go for a crazy dive on CheesedBeluga? However, they spotted out NintendudeX, and actually CheesedBeluga does not get hit by the chains. That could have definitely been a kill, or at least a flash burn from Shiphtur.
As we do just keep on seeing this fight over and over again. Blue buff is going to be passed over to CheesedBeluga with the help of PorpoisePops, who will go back to bases. He's dangerously low. And NintendudeX does not give his over to Shiphtur, so... Actually, no, he did give his over to Shiphtur, excuse me. That's what he used to trade earlier on. Is heading towards his red and maybe going to attempt for a gank at top.
Gets taking a lot of damage topside. This is just a passive game in terms of big map plays. Like, NintendudeX can't really go for a huge gank on some of the, for example, Nidalee, and bot lane's going to be a ward, so it's difficult for Noon to really go in there. PorpoisePops himself is very mobile, so it's hard to hit for him to do a lot besides consume creeps in the jungle. And you can see that NintendudeX is not really able to do a whole lot besides pressure top lane. And it's kind of the same thing for PorpoisePops. Mid lane is just too far behind. A non-level 6 gank bot lane would be difficult just because of the spell shield on Sivir being able to block the initial CC from Zyra, and Thresh, if he stays far back, will be perfectly fine and provide that lantern for escape. Top lane, though, gets snuggled. Just ult on out of there, having none of that business.
He's like, yeah, you're gonna pop your ults with the big sword. I'm just gonna turn into a dragon and fly out. But we do have NintendudeX coming in. It's gonna be a dash in as well as a stun. Broken Wings to chase this one down. Gonna get the knockup on Get Snuggled. He does not have flash available to him. He drops Ignite, but absolute zero. Gonna pick up the first blood for NintendudeX.
And ZionSpartan, that last second dash, that was one more tick on Ignite, and that would have killed him. Does survive that at the last possible moment. Unfortunate for Get Snuggled, got a bit too aggressive, and now this is going to be a scary lane for him. However, the advantage is that ZionSpartan did spend that 350 gold. Actually, Shiphtur now in a bit of danger. A little distortion over the wall, but guess what? CheesedBeluga looking for some chase.
Alright, so pounces and spears come in. Procs the passive. Tails and Tails actually popping Ghost and chasing after him while Godshu is going to zone away WizFujiN and Daydreamin. They will not be able to pick up the kill on Shiphtur, who does use the ultimate up distortion to get out of there. And now a dragon attempt here from the side of vVv. NintendudeX is almost over there. He's going to blood boil himself, and he has Flash Smite and Consume available. Can look for that plants to zone out, but it looks like this is going to be a fairly easy dragon for vVv, as Coast do not want to contest it.
I love that ghost from Tails. That was an awesome ghost because there was one of two things that could have happened. If Shiphtur misplayed and did not split up his clone from his LeBlanc, he could have forced that flash, or he could have tried to ult the clone and have that bounce to LeBlanc.
Yeah.
If Shiphtur didn't play like in a quick response, he would have just gotten blown up. Luckily, he moved the clone to the side. Still, Tails able to blow that flash on LeBlanc. Definitely an important skill for her, just because you need that bit of surprise, that bit of burst, and just map control abuse if you have that extra bit of range when it comes to her initiation onto a random squishy target. Still, 1400 gold to 14.7k, or 14,000 to 14.7k on Coast. Top lane is going to be the dangerous lane now for vVv, as Get Snuggled has fallen a bit far behind. That CS difference is more or less equal because of the red potion spent, but now with ZionSpartan getting some help from NintendudeX, Get Snuggled is going to have so much trouble just CSing and staying relevant in the lane. He's level 9, he has caught up to ZionSpartan, but it's still a difficult lane, especially if Riven has his push control now with that TMF pickup.
Yeah, and with the Blood Boil as well as Red Buff Harass from NintendudeX with the Ice Blast, this lane is going to push very easily. Snuggled is going to have PorpoisePops coming in. Assault and Battery is available. He's going to get a ton of damage on his ZionSpartan. Does eat the Ice Blast, but PorpoisePops showing himself now will guarantee him a little bit of safety, as well as keep ZionSpartan on his toes. Up in the mid lane, though, there was the makings of the DFG for Shiphtur picked up, as well as the Chalice of Harmony Double Thorns for CheesedBeluga, and a lot of sustaining those other items. So, gonna look to see where they want to build from here. After the DFG is done for Shiphtur, could look for finally boots, as he usually does not build boots early on.
Yeah, boots on LeBlanc are one of those things that, yeah, they're useful. Like, there's a benefit to them, but she has so much mobility early on, and most champions won't have their boots too, or even if they do, she can deal with it with her own CC. That doesn't really matter. Like, you can get by not having boots on LeBlanc. You just have to make sure you position yourself well in terms of things like ganks and positioning for stuff like that. Really, though, I love now that CheesedBeluga is trying to keep his own pressure applied. He knows if he ever lets Shiphtur get control of the lane in terms of minion push, he just will have to either go into Kruger form, which is dangerous because then Shiphtur can punish that immediately after a leap, or he can just go ahead and try and pressure him, try and stay pushed out, and make it dangerous for Shiphtur to go too aggressive.
Ooh, a ton of damage being applied on the Daydreamin, the root, and the double plants coming in. The double zombie hands, I guess you could say. Slapping a Daydreamin up there. ZionSpartan does, after a very aggressive and persistent push, get that tier 1 in the top lane. PorpoisePops is going out to respond to him, though, as he looks to go in with the Vault Breaker. Gonna go in with a ton of damage, but ZionSpartan is responding. There's the Assault and Battery as well as the Dragon's Descent doing a ton of damage to him. He's gonna try to loop around and pick up a kill on PorpoisePops, but he does flash into that third brush on the side towards the red turret. Descendant's not connecting the God lane on the Godshu, so he's able to just walk on out of there. But a really good gank to PorpoisePops on ZionSpartan, who was kind of overextending after that turret was taken out.
Actually, really good positioning for vVv on the map as well. That dragon already down. They can just take this top lane very safely, not worry about NintendudeX roaming towards dragon, picking that up quickly. You can see him right now, spotting out that pink ward and having to take it on out. With that kill, with that turret being taken out, a great equalizer. Get Snuggled is essentially back on pace with ZionSpartan, and maybe he can lane against him. It's going to be hard to deal with a Ravenous Hydra Riven, no matter what your champion is, but he might have a Sunfire Cape finish, which will could completely equal out that top lane. Very, very, very solid game from PorpoisePops. If ZionSpartan had been able to survive that, or even kill PorpoisePops in exchange, that would have been amazing for Coast, but now, this map's been completely equaled out.
Yeah, so even in gold, just about 400. Blue buff going to go over to CheesedBeluga as a red buff attempt steal from NintendudeX over there. WizFujiN forced to use a shield and stopped his back. Oh, Death actually connects through the back from Daydreamin. Boomerang Blade as well, but a lot of burst damage coming in through from the Brand. The Zyra passive does connect as well into WizFujiN, but he takes the Lantern, gets away from the stun from Brand, and that'll be a 1-for-none with a really interesting kind of bait from Daydreamin there.
Hey man, you land that Death Sentence on someone like Godshu, someone like Tails, they get blown up so fast, but you can see the power there. They almost were able to take out both champions. Both Daydreamin and WizFujiN went down incredibly low, incredibly quickly. If there didn't be any more pressure, Get Snuggled might be going down, or might just be taking a bit of harass.
Yeah, that distortion, I don't think it's actually too high level right now. It's level 3, but it didn't really chunk away too much. The Signal of Silence as well as the Mimic Signal and Silence just doing a ton of damage with the Ethereal Chain attaching onto that one, so just Shiphtur abusing that early game damage that LeBlanc has, as well as the amazing scaling she's going to have later on. I'm excited to see if he's going to be able to pull off multiple one-shots.
Now, that was a really cool power play because it just let ZionSpartan push more top lane. Like, that was not a go for a kill type move. I thought it might have been just because, the DFG come out. But it is LeBlanc's longest cooldown at 60 seconds. So you expect either a follow-up for a kill, but by allowing ZionSpartan to push more top lane, you allowed him to get into the turret and actually get into the jungle. He might be in a bit of danger, though.
All right, ZionSpartan gonna get knocked out by the Vault Breaker. He's gonna use his Broken Wings, but it's not enough in the Dragon's Descent. The Swag Dragon, as I said yesterday, for the kill.
The Swag Dragon just going right over him, picking him up. Not even getting the drag off. That was just complete.
Yeah, just
to death. No movement.
Flew right on over him. It's like Free Willy. Oh god, Free Willy Shyvana skin, please.
Oh my god. Turn into a whale for that brief moment. Just water everywhere. That would be fantastic.
That'd be awesome. All right, well, now we need to just pitch the idea and get someone to doodle it. If someone does, tweet it at either me or Studio. That'd be awesome. And meanwhile, WizFujiN, he went back to base. He's got a BT stacking up, as well as pushing this tier 1 turret, getting dangerously low. PorpoisePops was pinged on, but NintendudeX is coming around from the back.
They don't call them killer whales for nothing.
They do not.
Yeah, back to the actual gameplay. LeBlanc, looking for CheesedBeluga, can't get those ethereal chains to land on her. It's the most important skill for LeBlanc to land, essentially, if you can land those chains on someone like an 18 mid that will build Chalice and have magic resist. Because without those chains, it becomes so difficult just to get follow-up auto attacks and actually get the burst to kill someone, especially in Italy, that will have a leap. Even if you toss out that Sigil of Silence, you can usually get one off. Dragon is back up. PorpoisePops looking to take it out quickly. A lot of damage. Spears are just chunking through that. Shiphtur going forward, though.
Wow! Shiphtur going with the Mimic Distortion as well, following that up and just one-shotting Godshu right there. He didn't even have a chance to get towards the pit. Shiphtur, that's one shot. I want to keep a tally of how many one-shots he gets this game, if he gets that many. But so far, 1. But they lose Dragon, so the gold lead does transfer over to vVv.
Not a huge difference. I can see that it's still relatively even in terms of gold gain from that, but the experience is going to be the huge advantage for vVv. And picking up a support, alright, it does stop some of the gold income coming in from Godshu, but really he's going to be building most likely a Liandry's. And with that Liandry's Torment, her base damage will be incredibly high just from that percentage damage burn. Actually might be double Liandry's coming in from Brand as well. It does have the 100.
Oh, they're going in on Daydreamin! He gets stunned up there. That's going to be a kill for PorpoisePops, the excessive force for the kill. They landed a beautiful Brand stun and then followed up with a spear, and PorpoisePops is like, you know what, I'll add on to this one too, and just goes in with the Assault and Battery, and they pick up the kill. Very simple.
You just land one skill, so much comes up afterwards. WizFujiN could be in some danger too.
Oh, he got the stun through the hunt right now. A lot of movement speed comes in. The Pyroclasm is popped and bounces twice. A nice bounce from that one. Can they get it though? Ghost, Flash, and Fireball to the face, as well as the stun and auto attack. Gets Tails 1 kill, and they go 2 for none in that bot lane. Beautiful play.
Oh,
and CheesedBeluga gonna get blown up as well through the Ignite from Shiphtur, and the whole combination.
I mean, that was just Shiphtur saying, alright, I'm LeBlanc, I'm gonna have my item, I just have my TFG and my combo, I can still kill you. You can't pull this. If I land this, you're dead. And that was just actually an ouch coming out from CheesedBeluga in chat. However, that Brand CC, that Brand CC is pivotal. You can also rely on Xyrus a bit, but I'd actually say Xyrus is a bit trickier to land, has a bit of a cast animation people expect. Of course, Shiphtur now able to escape, get snuggled in that mid lane. But if Brand lands at 2-second CC, there is so much good follow-up. Whether it be initiation from PorpoisePops, the Vault Breaker, whether it be a root from Zyra, a CheesedBeluga spear, like if they can really incorporate this, like Brand, we've seen him a bit from Curse Academy. He's been popping in every now and then, but he's got so much utility, CC, and he might just like a top pick.
We're gonna see a chase to NintendudeX here. Does not dodge the stun, pounced on, bitten, and Godshu picks up 1. That's gonna help him scale out. He's got a Haunting, guys. He's got boots. He's building a potential Melonomicon with that Fiendish Codex, even the tier 2 of the gold item for the AP. But meanwhile, WizFujiN and Daydreamin do get some alone time in that bot lane and do take down the turret. But now a 2-man push coming in from vVv. Gonna push out this mid lane, but Shiphtur sells that one-shot potential. Flashes in, forcing the flash out of Godshu. And wow, alright, so almost one-shotting him, but forcing a flash out in response will leave him open for another attempt, as the cooldowns on Shiphtur are much lower than the cooldowns on Godshu.
That was definitely a big whoopsie moment for Shiphtur there. Like, he was going forward, going aggressive. He actually got hit by one of the slowing plants from Godshu, so he moved forward, blessed out the flash, and he still really wasn't in range, despite using Distortion immediately afterwards. So,
look at Tails! Oh, actually, Shiphtur got very low as well. He's going to run away. Flash Spear comes in, does not connect. He will be able to walk out of there. We do see ZionSpartan getting initiated right here. The dot damage is taken away. He's forced to flash over the wall to avoid the root and any other kind of potential for vVv to catch him out. Now a 3-man push, 4-man push actually coming in up top. The spear, almost connecting. WizFujiN going to be zoned out from the bot lane by PorpoisePops. He shields, but does not connect the Vault Breaker. We're going to see the wave get cleared out there very fast and easily by PorpoisePops. But up top, the tier 2 does go down, and vVv snag that one up for a very, very easy tower push and net themselves a nice little gold lead still.
That's actually something vVv has been doing. They've been abandoning their bot lane for the most part. Like, PorpoisePops is back there to hold it, but he's a Vi trying to survive a push against both Sivir and Thresh. And actually does get hit by the death sentence.
The box is popped, the Flay is dropped as well as Ignite. He's going to flash away, and it looks like they can't follow anything else up as WizFujiN did use the Boomerang Blade, and is kind of low on mana, so they will choose to play it safe and go back as Tails and Godshu did make their way down to the bot lane to help out PorpoisePops. So nice survival there by PorpoisePops as well as defending the tier 2.
Then resumed in immediately on CheesedBeluga, missing a leap, which is the most unfortunate thing for it to cut to. But they were giving up a lot and risked a lot by leaving PorpoisePops alone down there. Like, he was able to clear the wave, and that was going to be the focus, use excessive force just to try and push the minions back as quickly as possible. And their main goal was, take another lane. They don't want to try and have a passive farm off, because passive farm off versus a Sivir Thresh lane, they just take control because of Sivir's amazing push. So I do like what they've been doing. Like, all right, Sivir can push down bottom. She can try and push the turrets quickly. If we just stall, not even save the turret from a lot of damage, we can do a lot of work.
Shiphtur just barely missing out on the ethereal chain there, trying to catch out CheesedBeluga for the one shot again. I've actually been playing LeBlanc support, and with the way this patch works out, it's really fun. Just get a Sightstone and build a DFG and just go crazy. It's really ridiculous. We do see a little bit of a group coming in from vVv now. 2 members from Coast holding onto this turret. Shiphtur looking for some more assassination potential. He has the ward of the side. The plant is shown, but no one else is showing, as he's going to wait to use Distortion to get in, and going to play it patient, sees no one, will go back into the lane and be just fine, and get snuggled, kind of down on CS from ZionSpartan, who does have the Ravenous Hydra and Last Whisper now, so he is a deadly force.
I love seeing vVv on the minimap. Like, they have 3 members moving toward the bot lane, then the lantern came out from Daydreamin, pulled back, was huge, and immediately all 3 members just turned around, except for PorpoisePops, who was already in the lane. Tails, actually.
Stand still. That takes some serious cojones. But now CheesedBeluga actually going to get to live through this one. PorpoisePops over the side of the wall, gets the Vault Breaker, Assault and Battery pounce in, and it's going to be Shiphtur falling and transferring a blue buff over to the Beluga. While down bot, Godshu does use the Stranglethorn to zone the way and keep that turret safe, as well as, we didn't talk about this, but there's a lot of AoE wave clear for Tails and Godshu in this lane. They can hold turrets very well.
Actually, a lot of AoE wave clear in general. The only person who doesn't have a lot of AoE wave clear
Invisible Dragon.
Beluga. Beluga in human form. Like, everyone else has a bunch of wave clears, so it's pretty cool to see that vVv is playing very aggressively across the map, but using constant defense from the minion waves with their own AoE clear to keep turrets alive. Like, think about how long WizFujiN has been bot lane, Daydreamin. Actually get snuggled ZionSpartan, do up top lane, get snuggled, get the better of him though.
Dragon's Descent as well as Blade of the Rune King. He Dragon's Descent his way back out of there. While down bot, it's going to be Daydreamin running away with the Dark Passage out to shield him up. The dot is not going to be able to take him out, so they get through there with a Talisman of Ascension as well. Actually, no, that was NintendudeX's Talisman Ascension, as he rushed that item instead. Huh. So that leaves Daydreamin open for an early rush into Mikhail's Crucible, which it looks like he's doing.
I like it. I like that quite a bit.
Utility Nunu.
Yeah, the utility Nunu. It's a NintendudeX thing to do. He tends to not necessarily always build utility, but he does like to do that now and then. It's something that he was a big Nunu player, even when he was a little less popular. So seeing him go for the full utility, this is going to be a team comp based quite a bit, just WizFujiN trying to carry. Now the question is, can WizFujiN get his damage up to par quickly enough? There's a lot of mid-game spike potential, and if you look at the item builds from Tails and CheesedBeluga, you can see, they're both going for the same style of build. Once those Death Cap, ZionSpartan actually just getting destroyed again one more time topside.
Twin Fang's going to be up really soon. Throws out the breath, but is he going to chase it down? Shiphtur is coming. They're going to look to clear out a pink ward at the entrance of this red right now. There was a ping onto Shiphtur as he's trying to sneak around the side, but Get Snugglez could survive. He's very tanky right now. Assault and Battery actually onto NintendudeX. Not much of a follow-up, though. He pops the Talisman of Ascension to get away from the spear. Up top, though, Get Snugglez going to actually get one shot. Actually, almost one shot. Dragon's Descent. Auto attacks. Ignite is ticking. One more Distortion. It's going to be a flash and a signal of silence from Shiphtur to pick up the kill, as no one is actually safe. I thought he'd lived through a burst combination, but guess not.
No magic resist.
It's true. He picks up a Negatron Cloak now, though.
Yeah, now he's got some. And actually, mid-turret now in danger. A lot of time was devoted topside. and ZionSpartan himself was relatively low, now pushing that top wave. So they're losing mid turret, they're going to push in top turret. Can Zion pick it up in time, though? Will he die for this push?
I think he should be able to pick it up in time. CheesedBeluga and
I'm going to
PorpoisePops.
try.
No, alright, so he's going to back off. That's fine. Mikhail's Crucible now has been completed by Daydreamin, so no Roots or Brand Stuns going to last any longer now. Does it... It wouldn't pull off Vi's ultimate, right? That's only QSS. Oh, does QSS even do that?
No, it's a weird targeted knockup. It cannot be removed by anything. Like,
Weird.
Unless you kill Vi. Kill Vi before she reaches her target, and then the knockup won't apply. If she reaches the target, she can die midair, and the corpse will just pull them up on the way up, I guess. It's kind of grim at that point. But regardless, WizFujiN finally achieves his life goal, life dream. He takes out that bottom inner turret. He's been down there forever, and there's been so much wave push that he just hasn't been able to do anything, but it did cost him his inner turret in the mid lane. So this is like a weird game of turret exchange over vVv because they have so much better defense, at least earlier on in the game. They can definitely just try and outpush, try and outmaneuver across the map compared to Coast.
Yeah, and we do now see some warding over towards the Baron Pit. Shiphtur being a sneaky snake and waiting on the side of the bottom brushes, looking for Tails, but Tails is not biting. Actually, no, Tails might bite. He sees him come in, and they will just back out. 3 people grouped up in mid from the side of Coast. Shiphtur in the bot lane right now. Tails in the brush, being sneaky. Shiphtur's not going to go back, though. Looks like they will see the ward come through from Shiphtur, but he will see him on the minion wave. He's going to look to go into Distortion, but he backs right on out as NintendudeX going to clear out the wards with his sweeping lens. It does time out, though, so he is able to get out alive. Root connects to the mid lane, but Tails down bot. Going to try to blow up Shiphtur. It's not enough. PorpoisePops will pick up the kill, though, with the excessive force assault and battery combination. And Tails sacrificing himself for the greater good to get Shiphtur killed again.
Oh, she blew the hip in the mid lane. Can he survive this?
The box and the flake comes through the Stranglethorn to disengage. They flash away from the knockup. And PorpoisePops coming from the side does just Vault Breaker through the wall. Gets slowed out a little bit, but still 1-for-1 overall. We do have Get Snuggle coming in from the side. Looks like they'll just apply Bubble to WizFujiN and back right on out as Bot goes where he pleases. We'll be walking back up this lane as Snuggled and PorpoisePops kind of gonna look to counter jungle just a little bit with 1:40 left on this dragon still.
That might have been a chance for Coast to go for a team fight. Shiphtur already having killed Tails meant that, guess what, that brand CC, which I think is going to be imperative for ZionSpartan to avoid, was already ignored. But they said they play a bit more passively, play a bit more defensively. They are behind in gold, and you can tell, they can tell. So this is a really odd situation because in terms of a straight-up team fight, I'm pretty sure it's going to go to vVv very easily. They can control ZionSpartan. They can burst down targets very efficiently. The question becomes, can Shiphtur take out someone like Tails? And actually, now Coast going for the dual Baron. I mean, NintendudeX can tank this quite easily. ZionSpartan's got a shield as well. If they don't get spotted now, like, they're getting this for free.
Looks like they are getting this for free. Nobody is coming over from vVv, and we forgot to talk about how Nunu is a early game Baron god. They will end up seeing the buff go into the mid lane. It does go down, Smite and Riven, and ZionSpartan actually picks it up. So now vVv are like, oh, they snuck a Baron. Death status connects on the CheesedBeluga right now. Flayed in. Not enough crits from WizFujiN, but there will be a spear that connects. He's going to shield, but not connect with anything else. This tier 1 in the mid lane is going to go down while Get Snuggled in the bot lane trying to push down to tier 2. So Baron up Coast at 28 minutes. Looking to pressure their advantage as much as possible, especially with WizFujiN with 280 CS, so on that perfect CS route.
I have a question. That question is Get Snuggled dead?
We'll find out.
Dead.
Yeah, it's going to be a red buff slow applied. Get Snuggled going to use Dragon's Descent towards the turret. Pops the burnout, eats the turret shot, and Blade of the Rune King will keep him barely alive. He's going to sustain off a melee minion, but a nice little swift whack to the head picks up the kill for ZionSpartan there, and now he is a monster that no one can actually deal with by themselves.
I do like that play from Get Snuggled. He knew that he was going to waste a lot of time just by trying to retreat. It meant ZionSpartan couldn't show up to the fight as quickly. I meant that if Shiphtur was trying to chase him, he would waste more time or not get the assist gold. So they've really lost control of the game for at least the next couple minutes with that Baron buff. You know, the Dragon's going down now. Coast, they made the one sneaky play, but Baron buff on a team like this, you know, that makes LeBlanc Burster. NintendudeX is going to be so difficult to kill. Even though he's not that tanky, just his raw HP and utility means he's going to be fast to be mobile. He's going to be regenerating a lot of HP. God forbid there's a minion nearby. And ZionSpartan, like you mentioned, no one can deal with him anymore. I think the Baron buff is the equalizer. I think if Get Snuggled was not going up against the Baron buff Riven, it would be a relatively even match. You know, one could escape, the other side would take a lot of damage. It depends if the jungler is nearby. But right now, with that extra damage, Riven's just devastating.
Don't forget, he's going to have, let's see, 30% lifesteal when that Bloodthirster is stacked up. And on top of the 80 he gets from the Blade of the Exile, let's see here, an extra 20%, so plus 73. It's going to be a ton of regeneration, a ton of auto attack healing.
And 38 auto attack damage.
Oh, jeez.
I think he needs Infinity just so we can see some sweet crits come out. Probably won't, though. And actually, no, that's not even factoring Riven's. That would be amazing, actually. I mean, it would be really good right now. It would not necessarily scale reliably in the late game, would be the one disadvantage, but damn, that would just shred through people. And you factor in the passive as well, he's going to be hitting for about 600 in auto attacks, and then, of course, Riven has the rest of her kit as well.
Yep, and we'll see where they want to aggress from here, as ZionSpartan is going to be left alone in that bot lane. Shiphtur kind of moseying down there as well. Maybe you can look for a sneaky little catch potential. vVv now trying to secure their red buff for themselves. NintendudeX going to counter jungle a little bit there. Has the upgraded Oracle's Seeker, or Seeker's... The Oracle Seeker, I keep forgetting it. The Oracle's Lens, excuse me. Oh my god. I don't know why I keep calling it Seeker. But a Spirit is connected to WizFujiN, and he'll just find out.
Dale's not going aggressive on NintendudeX. Can he escape this? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he can.
The Thresh Express.
The Thresh Express. I thought maybe they could burst him down before that CC wore off. Now Godshu, he's taken out in a very dangerous position. A level 12 Zyra versus a level 18 Riven. Godshu has got to stay so far away from that Riven, it's not even funny.
Yeah, he'll be blown up in a matter of seconds. Shiphtur still hasn't shown himself just yet on the map, kind of just hanging around towards the waves and sitting back and waiting to see if ZionSpartan's going to get 5-man ganked or something like that. He's hanging around towards the red side of the jungle while everybody else just popping shields and absorbing spears and just pushing down mid. Root connects, but there doesn't going to be any follow-up on that one. While gets snuggled with the Rune King's WizFujiN, but he does pop the hunt in response and will be turning around for a ton of damage. Boomerang Blade does connect Snugglez, and he taking on a half, but a nice heal coming in from Nidalee there will keep him healthy and safe. And still, ZionSpartan and Shiphtur doing their own thing, kind of looking to slice some kills out as they want to pick them up. We do see an Oracle's a sweeping lens from Godshu to clear out the ward in their base, and when it happens, Shiphtur's going to be able to blow up everybody. He's got Void Staff and almost a death cap.
Yeah, and ZionSpartan himself, like, they're looking for that safe moment to reliably engage, where ZionSpartan can flash. And actually, Chase from gets snuggled on NintendudeX, does some decent damage, but once that snowball lands, even with a burnout on Get Snuggled, he just gets stopped. Like, he's moving at 100 move speed at that point. If Godshu gets blown up, then they lose all their wave clear. They have to fight a 4v5. ZionSpartan and Coast can play their split push game and just control the map. They're just looking for that one snipe, either from Zion with a flash, or Shiphtur with the LeBlanc Wombo combo.
The LeBlanc Wombo combo is a nice sight to see. Very skill intensive, and let's see now as NintendudeX does eat the spear. Assault and Battery comes through. He's standing on top of the lantern. There is the Mikhail's Crucible to stop the stun at the end of that, and they will be able to pull him to safety as Shiphtur still on the side. There's pink wards dropped all over the place, so they will be able to see the ward being cleared out here by Godshu and Tails. He decides not to go in and will be spotted out there. Death Sentence is straight away from Tails, while Get Snuggled and ZionSpartan just going back and forth with this one. And Baron buff has faded, so they can hold this off for a little bit longer. Baron in a minute and 50. Maybe one team is going to prioritize that one and try to get the buff. But Tails, we get Snuggled now, getting initiated on by ZionSpartan and chunked away as if his armor doesn't even matter. That last switch was just shredding through him.
You can see Coast, they almost lost their NintendudeX. They don't care, though. They just kept up the pressure, kept up the pushing. vVv, they can't be in every lane at once, and it's not so much about the wave clear anymore. The minions don't matter that much. If one minion reaches the turret, they can apply 1 or 2 auto attacks. It's about the fact that Shiphtur is constantly forcing people to retreat just out of fear and defensiveness. If there's any sort of poke landing from, let's say, a Boomerang Blade, or NintendudeX lands that Snowball, 1 or 2 auto attacks follow up from WizFujiN, they're just being out-pressured at this point. Coast, they're sitting up. They've got their push going on. They're staying spread out so vVv can't get a siege going and can't just try and land spears and follow up after that. And vVv is just being outmaneuvered at this point. However, the pressure has stopped. Coast finally going to back to buy some items. A big problem, too, is that Get Snuggled. Like, you mentioned his armor doesn't matter. He doesn't have a lot. I mean, Shyvana does have a lot naturally. But because Get Snuggled has built the Banshee's Veil to survive versus Shiphtur, because he built that Blade of the Rune King, he doesn't really have a lot of defense compared to, let's say, that Randuin's Omen, Sunfire Cape, Thornmail Renekton you see some games. And it's really showing.
It is showing. And NintendudeX now cleaning out the Baron side. They have the time around it. They will be looking to go for it as the wards are coming out from vVv. They will be aware this time around There is a ward over the side of the wall, so could be a sneaky Shiphtur attempt. But still, down bot, ZionSpartan going to be going back and forth to get snuggled here. Does pop the Banshees off, but gets snuggled, kind of winning on this trade just a little bit. That shield though from ZionSpartan will keep him sustained through most of that, as well as all the lifesteal he has present in his build, as well as he's making towards a GA. And Baron spawning now. We will see NintendudeX in the pit and ready to go, as ZionSpartan is Snugglez still going. Blade of the Rune-Key comes in, Dragon's Descent through the shield. There's going to be a ton of damage applied right now. Can he get the kill? It's going to be a flash away. And one more shield. He's going to turn this around. Gets the stun. The Dragon's pressing the flash with the Twin Fangs. The Dragon 4 picks up the kill. But now Godshu going to get chased down here. And Shiphtur whiffing the combo. Cannot pick up the one-shot. While PorpoisePops does make himself known over towards this Baron side. And the Smite with Consume from NintendudeX will pick up the kill. NintendudeX is going to be the target for PorpoisePops, but he's in 1v3, flashes into the wall, and there is Godshu getting one shot now. As the hunt is activated, the Death Sentence connects on PorpoisePops. Daydreamin will not go in. Shiphtur waiting on the side. He's got blue buff. Can he get the Mimic Distortion? It looks like no, but he will back on out. As the second Baron of the game will go over to Coast, with Shiphtur still hanging around towards that blue side. Hoard gets dropped over the wall. They're going to try to give this one over to Tails right now. Snugglez has joined the fray. CheesedBeluga going to throw some spears, as well as NintendudeX going to get pulled out by a Lantern. The Pounce chase from the Cougar form. Spear does not connect. Snuggle going to come in. Gonna look to see as he pops the burnout. Spear connects on NintendudeX. Doesn't do as much damage as I thought it was. A lot of magic resist on him right now. And that will be a, what was that, a global 1-for-1? Yeah, only one person died on each team. And yeah, we're back into seeing what vVv has to do to defend this Baron off. They're still down by about 3,000 gold, which isn't that much in this current patch. The game is staying relatively even, and they're going to go for a quick little dragon to get themselves some extra gold, as well as the builds coming through. We're looking to see a Randuin's Omen for Get Snuggled soon. We do see the makings of, that's a Hex Drinker, and maybe a Malma Mortis for PorpoisePops later on. He's got another Chain Vest. Could go for GA or for his own Sunfire Cape. And Void Staff looking to be completed here for CheesedBeluga, as Shiphtur going to be forced to Distortion and Mimic Distortion over the wall. But he's going to go back into PorpoisePops, who does use Assault and Battery on this one. He will flash out and get away. The Spear comes through, hits the clone instead. And actually, ZionSpartan coming in with his GA now. PorpoisePops going to use the Dragon's Descent and Blade of the Rune-Key to speed up and try to get out of there. Mikhail's Crucible used. Tails in the back line, though. PorpoisePops gets pulled in by the Death Sentence. Is that going to be the pop on the GA? It looks like yes. As now, ZionSpartan going to come back in with a little bit of HP, but the chase is still on for Coast, as WizFujiN will look to come in. The Thresh Express pulling in everybody that it can. The root goes in onto NintendudeX. The Spear connects. Godshu very slow. The flash from WizFujiN does not connect, but the auto attacks just blow him up. Tails going to get focused down by ZionSpartan, and the kill going over to Daydreamin. Death Sentence how to get Snuggled to keep WizFujiN safe, and he will end up falling down as a double kill, and potentially an ace, as ZionSpartan going to chase down CheesedBeluga here through this wave. Spear connects. He does not care. He ignores it. And now the 5-man push from Coast onto the inhibitor turret.
That is how much damage ZionSpartan has at this point in the game. He can absorb a full Nidalee Spear with just his dash, and that is the power of Coast comp. They have so much slow coming up from NintendudeX. It's not necessarily about using that to hard initiate, using it to chase, as now CheesedBeluga might be in some danger.
Oh man, almost one shot there. Does get the pounce into the vase and will be able to get out of there, as the inhibitor does fall.
But with the control that Coast provided, like they might be able to finish off the game now. It's going to be close. They have to really fight to defend. This is not CheesedBeluga. Doesn't get blown up. PorpoisePops won't be surviving this exchange. That's 4 members down. GGs are coming out.
Yeah, should be game here. They'll be able to face tank this one up, use all the damage that they've acquired, and just take out this turret very easily. Then the Nexus, absolute zero to clear out the rest of the wave. And that is going to be game 1 of tonight in the Super Week for NACL, going over to Coast in a very dominating fashion, and even some more one-shots coming in as Shiphtur's passive was popped. But GG.
I mean, Coast with their